Okay, so think about this. You're, pushing your cart down the grocery aisle, probably not giving it a second thought. But that simple act, buying food, it actually hides some, well, truly mind-boggling differences around the world. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the surprising cost of groceries globally. We're going to uncover which cities really make your wallet weep and which ones might have you stocking up. We're using data from big names like Numbeo, Mercer, and Expatistan. And honestly, what we find might really change how you see your own food bill. So how do we actually compare the cost of, say, apples in Zurich to apples in Karachi? Well, we use something called the Grocery Price Index. Think of New York City as the benchmark, right? It's set at 100. So if a city has an index of, let's say, 138,
Right.
that means groceries there are 38% more expensive than in New York. And 138 already sounds pretty high.
It does, and some numbers go way beyond that. It's actually fascinating how quickly they climb. If we look at the top 5 most expensive cities outside the U.S., Hamilton in Bermuda is right at the top. It's around 145 on the index.
Wow, 145.
Yeah, and that's a classic example of island geography. Very high import costs really drive up those prices. You're paying for every single mile that food travels.
Okay, Hamilton makes sense being an island and all that. But then the list has places like Zurich, Geneva, Oslo, Reykjavik. These are wealthy European cities. Is it
Right.
the same story there? High import costs? Or is something else going on?
That's a really good question. Imports are definitely part of it, but for places like Switzerland or Norway, you're also seeing the impact of incredibly strong local currencies and high wages too, which pushes up the general cost of living, including groceries.
Ah,
So it's less about how far the milk traveled, maybe, and more about the overall affluent economy. Plus, local taxes can add quite a bit.
right. So what are their index numbers roughly?
Well, Zurich is around 138, Geneva is very close at 137, Oslo is about 134, and Reykjavik is near 128.
Yeah.
And you've got other pricey spots too, like Singapore and Copenhagen, both hovering around 120, and Tokyo not far behind at 118.
Wow. So it's a mixed isolation and just plain old prosperity inflating prices. But let's completely flip the script now. What about the other end of the scale? Where does your grocery money stretch the furthest? Because the top 5 cheapest cities globally are, frankly, astonishing. Leading the pack is Karachi, Pakistan. Get this, its index is around 28.
28, that's
So
incredible.
can you even imagine? That means a basket of groceries costs about 70% less than in New York or, say, Zurich.
It really puts the global disparity into sharp focus, doesn't it? And right behind Karachi, you have Tashkent in Uzbekistan at about 30.
Okay.
Then Bangalore, India at 31, Cairo, Egypt around 33, and Tunis, Tunisia at 35. And there are others nearby too, like Lahore, also in Pakistan at 36, Hanoi in Vietnam around 38, and Manila in the Philippines close at 39. It's a whole different world cost-wise.
Let's make this really concrete. The sources give some specific price examples that are just wild. Okay, so in Zurich, Switzerland, 1 liter of milk is about $2.20.
Mm-hmm.
A kilogram of chicken breast weight for it, $23.
23, wow.
I know. And a dozen eggs, $7.50.
Goodness.
Now, let's jump to Karachi, Pakistan. Same items. That liter of milk, 85 cents.
Big difference.
That kilo of chicken breast,
I
$2.50.
think 250 compared to 23.
Exactly. And the dozen eggs, just $1.60. The difference, especially for protein like chicken, is just staggering.
It absolutely hammers home the point. The cheapest cities, they're overwhelmingly found in South Asia, North Africa, and parts of Central Asia. These regions often have, lower average wages, different economic setups, maybe less reliance on expensive imported goods for staples. All these factors contribute to that significantly more affordable cost for everyday essentials. So yeah, we've really unpacked this incredible range today, from the highest grocery costs driven by imports and strong economies.
Right, like in Bermuda or Switzerland.
Exactly. All the way down to places where completely different economic realities make daily life, well, much, much cheaper.
So what does this all mean for you listening?
Yeah.
It's pretty clear these price tags on everyday things like milk and chicken, they give us a fascinating window into global economics and maybe into the real cost of living in different corners of the world. It kind of makes you pause and think, doesn't it? What does the price of groceries tell you about the economics of your own city? Something to chew on.